Today I will begin my documentary by telling you some background information about the Native Americans. Here we go. Native American is a name given to the people who were the original inhabitants of North America, having arrived in Alaska at least 12,000 years ago. Upon their arrival, they quickly spread throughout the Americas, developing numerous different cultures and ways of life, including tribes such as the Cherokee and the Seminole. Their tribes were led by chiefs and elders were highly respected for their wisdom. The scout and the warriors bravely led the tribes into battle. Most Native Americans sustained themselves by hunting deer, buffalo, and farming, fishing, even though they grew squash, beans, pumpkins, cotton, and potatoes. The crop they farmed the most was corn, known to them as maize. As you can see, the land in which the Native American lived on was treasured so greatly because it not only served as a place for them to live, but it was also their means for their livelihood. Even though the Americans would trade their goods and supplies like guns and ammunition with the Native Americans because the Americans wanted their land, do you think they really traded fairly? Just something to think about. Come on a journey with me back in time as we explore the history of the pickering tree. On April 19, 1775, the Revolutionary War began between Great Britain and the 13 British colonies in North America, led by General George Washington. On September 3, 1783, George Washington and his troops defeated Great Britain in the Battle of Independence, which ended the Revolutionary War and began a new dawn of independence for America. In 1789, the French Revolution began between France and Spain. It was not much time, but after the war began, the two sides sought out assistance from the Native Americans. On November 9, 1799, the war was ended with a treaty between Spain and France, which was called the Treaty of Paris. In 1789, George Washington was elected the first president of the United States of America. How did the treaty get its name, you might ask? The treaty got its name by George Washington's Secretary of State at the time, Timothy Pickering. The reason why they call it the Pickering Treaty is because Timothy was a witness of the Pickering Treaty, and he was also the Secretary of State. What is a treaty, you might ask? A treaty is an official written document between two or more groups of people. The treaty took place on November 11, 1794 in a small town called Canandaigua, New York. The treaty involved these following tribes: Seneca, Cayuga, Onondaga, Oneida, Mohawk, and Tuscarora. These are the tribes involved. The treaty consists of 7 articles. Article 1 talks about how peace and friendship. Article 2 acknowledges and respects the land on which the Native Americans dwell. Article 3 sets laws for the reservation mentioned in Article 2. Article 4 states how the Americans will never again take the Native Americans' land. Article 5 states how the Native Americans will allow the Americans to build on their reservations. Article 6 indicates the payment that the Native Americans will receive from the Americans. Article 7 talks about how if ever the treaty is broken, we will find a peaceful way to settle the issue. Thank you for your time. and the honor of being able to share my knowledge about the Pickering Treaty with you. Have a blessed and wonderful day. This is Isaiah Richardson, signing off.